Hey everybody, Hunter back again from Showtime Studios. Just wanted to do a quick little video here on a couple tools that for me are a necessity, but I think they would be very handy for anybody that's doing modeling. Now, for anybody that wants to go into competition or anything like that, or has been to competitions, you will know that they do use pin lights as for judging. I judge a lot of contests, and I use a pin light myself. I look for seams. I look for injector pin marks. I also shine the light in the cars to look for how the interior is installed, and when you have a real busy engine bay, I kind of look to see if there's any glue points. Just various things. But one thing to keep in mind, if you are going to go to a contest or something like that, and it's going to be judged, and the judges will be using pin lights, one way to make sure you have your bases covered on that is to have a pin light on your workbench. And I have a pin light. Actually, I have several pin lights of different brightness. This is an LED pin light. As you can see, it's pretty bright. And it's got a little, I think there's a AAA, there's a AAA battery in here to power it. And I have that style, and I also have, this is another one with watch batteries in it. And it's a bright little light, and it's just a little tiny LED bulb. I use this one for various things. But I like this one here the best, and it has a clip on it for when I go to the shows. I can just clip it on my pocket, and I don't use it on all cars or all models that I judge. Sometimes if you got a car that's black with a black interior, it's real hard to really see in some of the show lighting that we have, and it's always good to have one of these. But if you're working with a part and you want to know if that part looks good, or if you did a seam and it looks good, instead of doing it with just the naked eye, get one of these pin lights and have on your workbench, and after you get your seam put together, take that pin light and go across that seam and see if it shows up. If it does show up with a pin light, most likely when you go to a contest, if they put a pin light on it, they're going to see the same thing. So it just gives you a tool to kind of knock out that flaw before it ever gets to a show table. And for you guys that don't compete, this is a very handy little tool to have. Same thing, if you want to produce a quality model and you're doing seam work or stuff like that, once your seam's done, click your pin light on, shine across your seam, see if there's any bad areas. If it is, go back and fix it, and it's good to go. Another tool that I'd like to give a shout out to is one of these lights right here, and you can see it coming into the picture. It is a folding light assembly, and I have it mounted up on my knee wall up there where it's out of the way, and it has a pivoting head on it. And I actually put a what is that thing, a fluorescent bulb in there, and that is a daylight bulb, which is a real bright white. I do not recommend the cool white bulbs because they're called soft white. The soft white bulbs tend to have a yellow cast to them, and they're not very good for modeling. I have a 4-foot fluorescent assembly right above my bench here, and it has daylight bulbs in it, which is a real white, bright light. And I also have the same thing in my 4-bulb assembly that's up in the center of the hobby room. But this one here, I can show you the light here. You can see how bright that light is, and I can click it towards you there. And it's got a chrome reflector up in it. Now, the neat thing about this one is I can pull it down here to work on something, and as you can see, let me turn this light off and get it out of my eyeballs. It has a magnifying glass here, and you can put this thing down right on top of your workbench pretty much and set it. I'll pan the camera down here a little bit, and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. I've got this pulled over here, and I can pivot this around to where I need it, and I can turn my light bulb on, which you can see how bright that is right now. And I can take apart like this wheel that I'm working on, And if I'm doing any, close-up work or whatever, I can get underneath this magnifier and go in there and do my cleanup work. And everything is real visible. And the good thing about it is you're actually magnifying your work. So, if you're magnifying it and you make it look good, just to the naked eye, it's going to look, very good. So that's one thing to remember. A lot of guys, I've heard them make comments about, I can't see why people would build models under magnifying glass when you go to a show and there's not magnifying glasses. It's just one of those things for us guys that really want to make a nice model. We want to make sure as many flaws are out of that thing as we can get. And this light here happens to be one of those tools that can do that. So, that's just gives you an idea, a couple tools that I think as a builder and, as wanting to be a good builder and make a quality model, they're two necessities that you really need in your arsenal of tools. And I'm actually going to name this this video Tool Time. And any videos that I do on tools that I use here in the shop, I will be putting it under that same heading. So whenever you see Tool Time pop up, check it out, because it'll be another tool that I've either tried or that I use all the time, that I'm just getting into video to tell everybody what I use and let them know how it works. So going to leave this one kind of short, and like always, I thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.